Is it recording or is it streaming? What happened? I got kicked off the. Alright, so we're gonna jump into a Reddit Dota 2 League game. Not technically a major. There's a CDIC Masters here, but I think we'll let's try a bit of a local one for right now. So we're gonna watch a Disband versus Beast. Last I jumped into it, there was a pretty big lead for I believe the Radiant team. We'll see where we're at right now. So we'll do myself. I'll be the broadcaster, and then we'll see what happens. I'm gonna mute this. Whoa. No. Immediate stream issues. There we go. Let's go ahead and mute that completely. So level 8 on this sniper here. Jeez. Okay, let's take a look at the net worth. Oh my God. Okay. So jumping into this game, really wish I jumped into it a little earlier to see if we can get an explanation for why this sniper is so far ahead in net worth. But we're gonna see it jump onto that Wraith King. He's not level 6 just yet, so not gonna survive that hit with the Burrow Strike by the Sand King. Taking a look at the last hits, so we do see that sniper in that mid lane leading the OD 54 to 23. So that sniper causing a ton of problems for that OD. It looks like those denies as well, but almost as many. He's more denies than the OD has last hits. So I'm assuming that there was a bunch of there was quite a few gank rotations coming out from the side of the Dire on that OD. There's no real way I think that he's gonna just lose that lane that badly. So alright, so looks like we're gonna get a pause. We got someone from Disband as well as somebody from wow, they don't have the name on that, so that's gonna be kind of beast. Very nice. We'll keep remembering that. So I don't trust a lot. Looks like actually doing doing a pretty good job. Check out the kills and deaths. So it does. So as you can see here, the kills as well as the assist ratio on the Radiant side there. Sorry, on the Dire side for Beasts. You can just tell that OD has been kind of harassed quite a bit, just because of how much rotation there's been on the side of Beast. So we'll keep an eye on that just to see if that OD can bounce back. There's some stacking going on. I know it looks like it actually looks like Beast is the one pulling the lane right here. So we're gonna see if after the fact they're able to catch it back up. So Night Stalker no longer disconnected. We're gonna just wait for that reconnect message to pop out, and then we'll get this game going back in. Again, that sniper and that Necrophos really jumping ahead in terms of the net worth lead, but let's keep an eye on the last hits for right now. So they were able to get the jump onto the Abaddon here. And again, he's not level 6 either, so he's not gonna be able to get the kill. He's not able to get his ult off, but they do have that Wraith King at level 6 now, so gonna be a little harder to kill him going forward. Taking a look at this Tide Hunter, he's only level 5 in that off lane at about 8 minutes. Maybe working towards that mechanism right now. He's gonna be able to pick up that one ruin. Make again a rotation onto this OD. He's gonna disrupt himself. Sniper was able to stop his ult. They do have the Burrow Strike available if they want to use it. They don't have the vision by the Sniper, so he's not able to get his ult off. And the rotation by that Shadow Demon gonna cause a ton of problems. There's a lot of poison stacks on this Sniper. He might be able to just pop him. That was actually just a Soul Catcher. He's got on top of him, but the stun by the Wraith King gonna slow him down just enough for them to be able to catch up to him, and that Void is actually gonna take him out. So good counter initiation, a counter gank by the Radiant side in disband to make sure that their OD isn't having too hard a time. They are going to get the disruption onto the Abaddon. He was able to get his Aphotic Shield off, so his own illusions aren't going to do too much to him. In the meantime, OD just taking a couple hits at this mid tower. He's got to be careful though. He doesn't have the most health at the moment. He's kind of coming towards a little above that quarter of his health mark. So snipers could rotate it. He's actually gonna get the assassinated off, but without that shrapnel and a couple of extra hits himself, not gonna be able to get the kill. We do have Night Stalker, who's level 5. He doesn't have his ult just yet, but Wraith King does have that mango available just in case he does decide to go in a little deep, as well as be able to use his stun. So maybe waiting for that rotation, but Night Stalker's actually gonna bring himself out and rotate himself around. He does have those phase boots, so he's extremely quick, especially as soon as that turns to nighttime. So we are gonna wait and see what kind of jump he looks to make. So they are gonna look to make a rotation onto this Abaddon again with that Aphotic Shield up. A lot tankier than you would think. And Abaddon's actually going to look to be the aggressor here. He's going to dive under that tower. He's level 6, so he's actually going to push in under that tower. In the meantime, the Sand King was able to get the pick off on the OD, who was hanging out kind of in his own jungle farming. He thought he was safe. And then in the top lane, that Necrophos was able to get the kill onto that Shadow Demon who was rotated up top. They were able to get the kill as well onto that Tidehunter while he was up there also. So that net worth league jumping towards that towards that 6k mark. So you just saw the effect or the fight take into effect right there, and that gold lead dropping towards about 7k. Another kill on that. Where did that happen? You didn't even get a chance to see where that kill came from. So it was like the Sand King was able to get the pick off on the Night Stalker, but we didn't even get the chance to see where he got killed. So the Radiant side on disband is getting picked off left, right, and center. In the last couple of minutes, they lost about 4 in the last 2 or 3 minutes so far. Again, this Tidehunter not having the easiest time in that lane. Again, looking at that net worth, it's still that Necrophos as well as that Sniper who are leading up there. Gonna get a disruption again onto that Abaddon. Not the easiest kill as we called out before. So gonna look to go toe-to-toe with him. They're gonna rotate in the Night Stalker to see if maybe they get a jump. But that Sand King with the Burrow Strike right away. Not gonna get the Hunter and the Knight off to its full duration. So now the ult's gonna come out. They're gonna look to stop trying to hit him. But the AA Blast gonna come down right on top of 3. They're gonna bring them down with that burst. It's not even a chance to come back for that Night Stalker. But they're gonna bring back the Wraith King thanks to his ult, but that Sniper rotated it in, and now he's gonna go down a second time. And now Abaddon again, his ult pop, but he has that Aphotic Shield. The Sand King's whooping around from the other side, as well as that Assassinate. He's not gonna stand a chance against getting that, and he's gonna pick him off. The Tidehunter was looking to rotate in, but smartly backs his way off, knowing he doesn't stand a chance against the 3 heroes of Beast. And Beast just running amok on disband right now. They don't stand to take team fights right now. They can't do it. They're putting pressure on that bottom tier 1, and again that Necrophos just free farming in that top lane. You know, that AA just putting his blast across the map, and I didn't mean to say AA blast. He's blasting his blast across the map. There you go. But again, just free farming and putting pressure onto that top tier 1, while Sniper down here taking that bottom tier 1 tower. Radiant and disband still have yet to take 1 tower, so gonna need to start putting the pressure up a little bit. So again, Abaddon using his ult to recover maybe a little health from the team fight there. There is the Ravage available, and with the rotation of that Night Stalker, but the Cold Feet is actually going to catch out this Tidehunter, so it's going to dissuade any kind of further engagement by disband. I feel like disband, because they have that question mark, should it be disband? Every time we say, Tidehunter from disband? We're not going to do that. We're thinking about it, though. So they're going to rotate the Wraith King in here. He's going to do it's a bit of farming before he comes up. But Pope is gonna walk himself up. Does he know that there's actually 4 heroes from the from Beast just hanging out? So they have the Sniper, the Sand King, as well as the AA and the Necrophos. He doesn't know that, so he's gonna step in right away. He's gonna get the Ravage off, but to absolutely no avail, because that Assassinate's just gonna assassinate him, take him out of that fight. Again, this OD, I swear every time we look down at him, he's got little health and almost no charges in his bottle right now. 0 charges in the bottle, while while Beast actually takes out the top tier 1 of Disband. So all tier 1 towers from Disband are down, and that really opens up the rest of the map for Beast to take over. So, oh, a beautiful disruption to stop that Sand King's Caustic Finale, as well as that last right click by Sand King to take out that Shadow Demon. So, really well played shot there. They're going to use the Reaper Sight to see if they can slow him down enough to bring him down, which they do. And the Hunter and the Knight actually going to bring the Night Stalker up into the high ground to his own death. He did not think that's what was going to happen when he brought himself up onto that high ground. He thought maybe he could save his teammate, maybe he could be the hero, but he ended up being the duck, not the goat. And on that note, they're literally just gonna push right down that mid lane. We're gonna see a disruption from that Night Stalker, or from that Shadow Demon. You know, try to draw the enemy team away. But a well-placed ward on the high ground here is gonna give them that intel that they need. They know that that Shadow Demon is hanging out on his own high ground. He's just bringing out his little disruption pieces. We're gonna see the Crippling Fear as well as the Void hit onto that Necrophos, but not too much. The Sand King actually, was that a blown epicenter? That was a blown epicenter. He canceled it like last second. So Necrophos, he's gonna pop his invisibility as well as that TP, but the disruption is gonna cancel that out. Ravage isn't up for another 30 seconds, but they are gonna be able to bring him down. The AA blast did land onto 4 of them, so it's a nice hit, but not enough damage to bring them down in the on the back line. So again, so much pressure coming out from the side of Beast. This Sniper just, again, staying so far ahead on that net worth lead and just bringing down these towers like they're absolutely nothing. He does have that Dragon Lance as well as that Maelstrom, so he's able to clear waves as well as do towers damage really quickly at the moment. His attack speed is way up there. So, gonna look to see if we can get maybe some big hits from Disband. They're really gonna have to start bringing out some big items, as well as some perfectly executed team fights. Not even well executed. They got to be perfectly executed team fights. This Wraith King trying to hold his ground in these fights, making sure he carries that Mango to ensure that he has the second life, as well as the slow that it costs to bring him down. So, and again, that Blink Dagger from the Sand King causing a ton of problems. That Assassinate is going to take out the Night Stalkers. That's exactly the opposite of what we were just talking about. And here comes the AA Blast. So, Ancient Apparition looking to make a bit of a play. He's going to land on 2. It is going to land on 2 of them. So, beautiful shot by the Ancient Apparition. And the rest of the team from Beast actually going to try to rotate in a little to see if they can't capitalize on it. They are going to back themselves away. Doesn't look like they want to engage on that. Taking a look again at that XP lead, dropping towards about that 8k mark, as well as the gold lead, just passing that 14,000 gold lead mark, and the Wraith King walking himself into an absolute disaster of a situation. But the rest of his team is actually rotating in. It looks like it's just the 3 heroes of Beast in that area, so they're actually going to bring down. They are going to bring down the AA, and as well as the Night Stalker is going to go down, and the Reaper Scythe actually going to take out the Tide Hunter. The Wraith King going toe-to-toe with the Necrophos. He's actually going to lose, and then the rotation of the Sniper in there going to bring down the rest of the heroes. So a 5 for 1, and the one was actually just the Ancient Apparition, so it wasn't even anywhere near worth it for the side of Disband. And it's a disaster is an understatement in terms of that one. That was it started off as a good fight. They brought the Wraith King back. That slow gave the heroes from Disband a chance to come back into the fight and help out the rest of their team. But to what avail? It was none. There was no avail. It was just an absolute devastating fight. So keeping an eye on some cooldowns here. The Ravage was popped in that fight. as well as the OD hammer. So, and this Shadow Demon, what are you thinking, buddy? You're just walking directly into the fire range of the sniper, just taking shots to the face. Again, that's not what I meant, but taking shots after shot from this sniper, and just and keep walking towards him. Yeah, Valor is an underrated skill for sure, but you really need to be able to stand your ground. This Wraith King up top here, looking for maybe the kill onto this Sand King. Sand King does not have that Aghanim Scepter, so he's not able to get the Caustic Finale on his, in terms on his stun. But the Reaper Sight's not available for another 11 seconds, but maybe just that hard stop Aura. No, they're going to get the Assassinate down on him, so he's going to go down. That Sand King, again, has the Epicenter ready and available, but that Ice Blast actually catching onto two, and that's going to be a devastating hit to bring down both the Tidehunter and the Night Stalker. And again, this sniper just on the back line, taking everybody out. GG is called. There is no way they were going to stand around and take that kind of punishment. 31-6 for the side of Beast. And what a fight it was. That sniper taking an early lead and just devastating them. There's AA Ice Blast also on point that entire game. So we're going to see if we get another game out of this. It doesn't look like we're going to, but we'll kind of wait and see what the next game looks like. Taking a look at that graph, so I do want to see at the beginning here. So we do see that sniper take an early lead and then just take off, and at no point is he ever coming down. He's just reaching for the stars. This sniper. So big plays, big kills, real high kill count for the side of Beast. But again, we'll take a look to see if there's another game we can jump into. On the pro side, we could just take a look at the CDIC Masters, as well as the Echo League too. I'm not sure. I've never actually seen what the Echo League was, so we could jump into that game as well. All right. Just gonna keep refreshing this here to see what we're gonna get. It's like we're getting another game in progress. I believe this is the same game we just watched. They might just still be in the game, or are they gonna start another game over again? Let's take a look. Never noticed this white line here. Hmm. Impressive. Are we going to get a game? Don't think that we are. Let me jump back. Won't let me do anything. Alright. Let's how about we crash Dota for a second? Let's load this back up. Shall we? gonna jump right back into Dota. Um, Again, guys, while we're waiting for this to load back up, if you like what you're seeing here, toss me a follow. If you don't worry about it. I didn't want you on my team anyway. If you want to check out some other videos, take a look at my YouTube channel. The link is down below, um, and we got a couple other videos up there. So without further ado, let's take a look again back into these games. So it's Reddit Dota 2 League. So we are gonna get a chance to see game 2 of Beast versus Disband, and Disband may be looking to bounce back in this team fight. I was like typing out to welcome to the stream, and there it is. Like typing that out so that we get a nice to get a chance to put that in, and I know where the chat box is as well. Yeah, as much as I love this loading screen, I really wish it would. It doesn't look like the game's actually started yet, so that might be the situation we're running into. Let's wait a little bit before we do that. I think part of what we're gonna do is actually try to get this stream posted to um, one of the Reddit forums for Reddit Dota 2, so that oh, this guy's really nice. Oh, that was really nice of them. I have to mute Discord. Discord apparently has something called stream mode. I think I'm just gonna close Discord entirely, so that it's not pinging the whole time. What was the other suggestion? Move your camera to the left since it blocks hero portraits. Oh, okay, that's probably a good idea. I'll make it smaller as well. You don't really need to see me that much. I don't think seeing me is super important in the casts. But again, whatever feedback you guys have for that, I'll take. All right. So we got some pretty good advice here from that guy. I think I appreciate him quite a bit for telling me that. So what we'll do is we'll try something a little different. Talk a little bit about the skill builds, um, as well as yeah. So this game should be jumped in. Looks like it is. So we're gonna take a look at the actual draft itself at this point. So, and again, let's see if we can't move this. There we go. Perfect. Now it's out of everybody's way. We still see the band, still see the silencer, and his full name, even though you know it's silencer. So Beast picking up the Necrophos, as well as they had in that last game. It looks like Disband's actually going for the Shadow Shaman. So that lockdown, the Shadow Shaman, as well as the Clockwork, and then the silence from the silencer is going to be pretty big. They're looking like a little bit like Team Global here on the side of Beast with their Spirit Breaker and Ancient Aberration pickups. We'll see how well that works out for them. Uh, gonna jump into the reserve time here. So now, looking at that last game, and watching kind of Beast play in that middle lane, again having a high impact hero like that sniper, to try and keep them ahead early, and get them ahead early and keep them ahead is going to be pretty big. You guys are gonna have to excuse me for 1 second. For some reason, somebody decides this now is a good time to call me. Actually, I'll let you guys hear what it says. Hello. Yeah, what's up? What? Okay. Do you want me like right now? Of course. All right. Gonna see the Tide Hunter come out. So we're gonna watch the rest of the draft while I step out for 2 seconds.
Imba Spirit.
But incredibly well timed. Family knows when you're doing something, and that's the ideal time to pick on you. Is when they know you're up to something, so they'll call you right at that moment. So it looks like we got the Tide Hunter and the Ember Spirit coming out from the side of Beast, and then that Nyx Assassin and the Shadow Shaman on the side of Disband. So some big team fight from that Beast team. So in our last game, we saw the team fight really on the side of Disband. They do still have a pretty big team fight, but it looks like we have a more so on side of Beast. So we'll jump into this game and see what we can get. I believe it was Mike, who is that mid hero on that sniper. So we'll see if he has the same impact on the Ember Spirit. There we go. Back up. And we got to pause right away. uh, okay, I'm gonna readjust the camera one more time here. I'll make it a little bigger. Alchemy gain 2 fills my It's a disaster indeed. They're talking about first pick AA. So the one of the big things that Alchemist is able to do is Alchemist can get that regen using his alt. Ancient Apparition's alt actually stuns out any kind of regeneration done by the enemy heroes. So his regeneration wouldn't work well with that AA blast. So and then of course with that Necro, if he's in the area, just chunking him down. Not the best pickup. This is something we don't see very often. Is your mid player actually getting his own tangos? Uh, so he's gonna be picking up a bottle, about in that early game, but the tangos usually come from the supports. So your support tosses him one or two tangos, so he doesn't have to buy them. He can save his money for a couple of other things. Um, NFD and Shaq, real nibbas. That's I mean, whatever floats your boat there. So we're gonna wait and see. I feel like there's been a couple games so far that we've been cast in here, and we've gotten some interesting pauses. I think the longest pause that I had was a pause for what is it, about 7 or 8 minutes, where we just kind of paused and we were just hanging out, we were chatting. It's interesting doing a solo stream when you have about 7 or 8 minute pause. You gotta fill the silence yourself, or you can just make your viewers stare and watch a blank screen or a kind of a standstill screen. What we did actually last game was the effigies, and we won't do it this game because it looks like they're gonna start up again. But that was actually a lot of fun. So let's see. Not gonna see any jump outs too early. So checking out what we got here. Don't see a smoke coming out onto either of the supports on the side of Beast. And I'll take a look to see if anybody here on the side of Disband does, but doesn't look like they do either. So they do have quite a bit of lockdown. So we might be able to see a first blood jump, but not including the two heroes in the off lane. So this Venomancer going mid, the Nyx Assassin over here might look to make a jump onto that first onto that ruin, or actually just disband any kind of smoke play from the side of Beast. Disband. That's pretty good. I actually like that. Uh, and then we're gonna see the hero aggro tri-lane for the side of Disband with the silencer, the shaman, as well as the clockwork. So again, taking a look and keep an eye on keep it on the rotations. With about 10 seconds left, doesn't look like we're gonna get a fight early on. We're just gonna get a straight ruin for ruin pick up, and then right into the lane. So we're gonna see the Spirit Breaker kind of roam on to the other side. He does have the Observer Ward, so gonna put it maybe up in a less than optimal position. Actually, I think maybe could have gotten a bit more out of that Observer Ward, but he is able to see the positioning of his enemy there, which is the Venomancer. So get a good chance. Actually, can see quite a bit of the mid lane as well. So he's gonna wait till that courier comes out and try to snipe it. In the meantime, we're gonna keep an eye on these last hits on the side of in that mid lane. So seeing a bit of early aggression on the top lane, of course, with that aggro tri lane. Shadow Shaman actually one of the harder hitting supports in the early game. So that Tidehunter might have a bit of trouble, but maybe not too much. So still about even in this mid lane with a 3-2 favoring the Necrophos. Wasn't sure if we were gonna see the Necrophos being the one in the mid lane, but we did actually kind of see that rotation. We are seeing our first charge by the Spearbreaker. He's gonna jump onto this bottom lane, so we'll keep an eye there just to see if he does make the jump. Those chains are available as well as that flame guard, so they're gonna get the jump, and that cold feet actually gonna get a chance to slow him down as well and bring down the Nyx Assassin for the first blood in that bottom lane. So good rotation by that Spear Breaker to bring down that first bash and get that first blood. In the meantime, we do have the battery assault on the side of the clockwork. So this Shadow Shaman really just needs to maybe get his level 2 and then get a chance to get those shackles as well as that hex. So again, seeing a pretty even trade in this mid lane. 7 to 4, not nothing too extreme. They're not too far out of the way of each other here. And those plague wards going to start coming out from this Venomancer. Once they do, definitely going to start to see that shift a little bit, either back even or more towards his side. Clockwork is rotating into that mid lane. Actually, we're seeing a bit of a jump on that bottom side, so we're gonna see the cold feet gonna come out and see if maybe they can get that down. They're not gonna be able to, so Spearbreaker gonna look for no bashes. Doesn't have bash skilled up, so it's not gonna get any of the bashes on there. But we're gonna look to see if it couldn't make a jump. He doesn't have the shackles on the side of the Shadow Shaman, but this Tide Hunter pretty tanky, especially with that anchor smash and that salve available. So might look to make a turnaround on them, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. Again, that really early aggression coming out from the side of Disband. Observation doing some stacking for his buddy the Ember Spirit, and we're seeing a big rotation here in that mid lane. But that Spearbreaker is charging in there, so we're gonna see a bash coming out in a 7. He's gonna get the Growth Shroud off to get a chance to actually slow them down. Spearbreaker did cancel his charge. Doesn't have the cogs on the side of the Clockwork, so not sure what the call there for canceling the charge was. Maybe he got rooted by the Ancient Creep, because he did aggro those as he came across. So not 100% sure what happened there, but did stall that out, and no further aggression was called there. They do have the cogs as well as that battery assault, so they could look to make a bit of a push onto this Tide Hunter. Tide Hunter again in that solo lane, but he's only level 2 to the level 4 of the Silencer. Wondering, taking a look at what's happening here. That Tide Hunter gonna again look probably to build that mech early on to see if he can't get some lasting sustain. Well, first things first, we're gonna have to wait and see what happens in that with that mid lane matchup. The Shadow Shaman being an absolute pest in the jungle of the Radiant here for Beast, and he's gonna TP himself away. So talking about this aggression by Disband, they're really pushing some early movements. A good ward on the side of good ward on the other side of the river here. They are going to make a jump onto this Nyx Assassin. He does have the Spike Carapace this time, so uh, to dissuade any kind of any more aggression. But again, with that Flame Guard and those shackles, really is not much the Nyx Assassin could do. That lockdown a little too much, and they're gonna bring him down. Now this Tide Hunter a little deep at the moment. He doesn't have a lot of health. He's gonna have to tango up a little bit. The side of Disband actually wrapping around, so Tide Hunter smartly realizing what position he was being put in, and he's gonna rotate himself through the jungle. He does see that the cogs are available as well as that battery assault, and the shackles are gonna come out from the side of this Shadow Shaman. He does have the hex available as well, so they're probably gonna try and bring him. They are gonna bring him down. It looked pretty inevitable, but again, how tanky that Tide Hunter is, it's not always the easiest kill to get. So, looking at this mid lane here again. Not a huge difference. So again, what we were talking about before, seeing the plague ward start to come out, and that even up on the CS lead, but the jump onto the Venomancer, and then the lockdown using the Reaper's Scythe, thanks to that bash by the Spearbreaker charge, is gonna get that kill in that mid lane for your Necrophos. There's the cold feet. Is it gonna grab? It is gonna grab, so they're gonna get that kill before the Shadow Shaman's able to rotate in. We weren't sure. He's pretty far outside of that outside of the range of that of the ice vortex, so we weren't sure if that cold feet was actually gonna get a chance to grab, and it looks like it did, and they were able to get the kill off of that. So you're gonna see the double damage picked up here by the Clockwork. Gonna again make a rotation. If they catch out this Ancient Apparition, which looks like that might be the target they're going on, no, it's gonna look actually to bring down this Clockwork or go onto the Spear, or sorry, the Ember Spirit. But the charge by that Spear Breaker, it looks like it's actually gonna be the Clockwork they're gonna turn on. But that Hex coming through, that Remnants are available, but not sure if he's gonna look to use it. They are going up towards where that shrine is, so it might dissuade them from actually going in any farther. Yeah, And Disband's just gonna regen up right around that shrine and kind of back themselves away and regroup. They do still have that double damage for another couple of seconds, so they were maybe looking to make a jump with it, but in the end, gonna back themselves away. So, taking a look at some of the oh, where is it? Hero levels. There we go. Getting used to the buttons. Here's the hero levels wise. We are seeing that Necrophos again, just staying a little ahead of the Venomancer. Venomancer not far behind. But again, seeing this Silencer way ahead of this Tidehunter. He's got about 2 levels on him. And let's take a look at the Tidehunter. Tidehunter isn't actually that close to the level 5. We did actually a kill right in that mid lane, a solo kill by this Necrophos to take out that Venomancer. So taking a look at the net worth lead, we are seeing that Venomancer, or that Necrophos at the top of the net worth lead. In the meantime, in that bottom lane, the Cogs were caught out onto the Ember Spirit, but he is actually, he's gonna go down, but that Cold Feet actually gonna catch out this Clockwork, so Spearbreaker is gonna be able to bring him down. They do have that Hex coming down. He doesn't have the mana for the Shackles, so they're gonna back off before any other engagement is had. So it is a 1-for-1 in that bottom lane. But again, with that kill in the mid lane as well, the XP and Gold Swing actually going to go slightly the way of of Team Beast. So it's a really good Cold Feet and Ice Vortex by this Ancient Apparition. I look to see if the Clockwork makes a bit of a jump there. It doesn't look like he's going to. He's going to back himself away because the Tidehunter was headed towards his shrine, so definitely didn't want to fight up there. Didn't realize the shrine was shrine has actually already been used, but no way for him to have known that. So taking a look at what the next items are. So we're going to see the Veil of Discord coming out from the Necrophos to deal out a little more of that magic damage and maybe a bit faster to bring down these heroes. He's recognizing that the rotations from the side of Disband is coming in pretty quick, so he's gonna have to burst down these enemy heroes a lot faster. Again, that being reflected by the pickup of the plus 40 damage instead of that plus 8 strength. It's a little under the tower there, so the Venomancer still gonna get jumped under that tower. It does have the Reaper Scythe available, but it's not enough to bring him down just yet. And even with that Death Pulse, not quite enough to bring him down. That was a bit of a ballsy jump, but not going to get the final kill. Maybe an extra hit or two, or maybe one right click by that Venomancer might have been able to get it. And the rotation by the Clockwork, he does have that Battery Celt available. He is going to pop it, but the rotation of that Necrophos is going to dissuade him from going any farther. Pop up that... yeah, pop out those cogs, so he's going to put that ability on cooldown. Picking up rocket flares, so maybe a bit more intel on the side of Disband will help them out a little bit here. And this Ember Spirit, maybe not catching up quite the way he wanted, thanks to the rotations of the Ancient Apparition being in that area. But in terms of net worth, not too far behind the Silencer. That Silencer still keeping a good grasp on the side of Disband. But they're going to see the rotation come in from the Spearbreaker, and the Ravage is going to be committed onto 2. They're going to get that hold off of but the bash onto the Silencer are going to be a big hit and actually hit onto him, so he's not going to be able to get away. But now, the jukes through the trees. Is he going to make it out? He is not. That charge was available as well, so even if he made it through that trees, he was going to get charged to his death anyway. This initial Ravage, so the first Ravage of the game coming out on that top lane, bringing down 2 heroes with that rotation of that Silencer. A really good fight for the side of Beast. So we'll see the net worth lead as well as the gold lead reflect that in about 3k net worth lead as well as that 4k gold swing. So again, the early aggression by Disband looking to really try to counteract what's happening right now, but maybe didn't happen quite enough. They do have that Flame Guard up on this Ember Spirit, so he might be a harder kill than they're anticipating. He also is going to get that Remnant off, so maybe to look to see if he can't get he's actually going to look to get the return kill, and he might actually get it. He just needs that one last click. He's not going to get it. The Shackle save by the Shadow Shaman, but the Ancient Apparition is going to get that kill. He actually beautifully landing the Ice Blast on top of that Clockwork, so the Shadow Shaman's going to have to walk himself away. That Ember Spirit wanted that kill onto that Nyx Assassin so bad, but that Shadow Shaman holding him in place, not letting him get that last click. Luckily, the Ancient Operation was able to rotate around and pick up that last hit himself onto that Nyx Assassin. So some good fights coming out from both teams right here. So some really good team fights, but again, that net worth really still favoring Beast, as well as that gold lead still favoring Beast. They are able to get more kills on their side, as well as their heroes are leveling and scaling a little bit better here. Taking a look at the hero levels, that Necrophos leading that net worth lead, but the next two heroes are on the side again of or sorry, that Necrophos being at the top of the net worth, who's on the side of Beast. So and that Spirit Breaker causing a ton of problems. Every time somebody's being jumped in any of the lanes, he's right there on top of them to help. And they just kind of gave that free farm to that Ember Spirit in the bottom lane. The Ice Blast's gonna roll through, just pass through to see if he can get some return damage onto these two. And we're gonna see the burst down by two on top of the Remnants. The Remnant just kind of bursting down both the Shadow Shaman and the Nyx Assassin, the two supports on the side of Disband. And this is exactly what we're talking about. Disband really tried to push early on to try and pick off the heroes early to try and make sure this kind of thing didn't happen, because this is exactly what happened in the last game. So the aggression wanted to come out from Disband this time, but again, not quite what they were looking for, as they are still on the back foot somehow in this team fight. So the Ember Spirit is going to take out the bottom tier 1 tower, while the Silencer kind of slowly chunks away at this top tier 1. He's been by himself for quite a while in this top lane. There have been a few jumps onto him, but really thinking there should be more damage onto that one tower. Spearbreaker is looking to make the charge, but maybe going to wait for his friend, the Tidehunter, to come in before he does anything kind of too reckless. Tidehunter is coming in, and again, he's picking up that early mech to make sure that he gets some good sustain in these team fights. These Spearbreaker picking up the Earnest Shadows to try and get some damage over time on a couple of these heroes. And we'll see what the next item, actually picking up the Pipe of Insight as his next item on the side of Beast for that Necrophos. So the pipe gonna kind of dissuade any of the poison nova damage. We're going to see a charge onto this Shadow Shaman. He's going to commit all the way for it, and as well as that cold feet. Oh my god, no, the hook shot actually catching onto his buddy, the Silencer, and then he cogs the both of them in, which is going to give the oh my god, the Ravage coming through and catching out two of them, as well as the Spear Breaker Nether Strike. He's actually going to try and TP himself away. He realized that he's not going to be too much help in this fight. And then the rotation, that Tidehunter going in on the Nyx Assassin, no real vision, but maybe trying to dissuade any kind of reinitiation by the Nyx Assassin. So a great team fight again. That tragic hook shot by the Clockwork, actually catching out the Silencer and then cogsing them both into the trees, like right along here, so they couldn't get into that team fight, which gave the perfect opportunity for the Tidehunter to step in and get his ult off. Now you're going to see that Ember Spirit just chunking down that Venomancer, and again, Venomancer is that mid lane, so you're really seeing now the dominance of this Ember Spirit start to take over. Taking a look at that net worth lead, him jumping back over top of both the Silencer and that Venomancer. And this is looking very reminiscent of Game 2, guys. I'm not seeing the the pushback by Disband that we were hoping to see. I really, watching hopefully the bounce back. We're gonna see if they can again try to make any kind of major push by the mid lane. Try to defend maybe this tier 2 in the mid lane, because there's only the two heroes here in the Ancient Apparition, as well as the Necrophos. Necrophos was able to pick up the Pipe of Insight, gaining quite a bit of money himself from all these skirmishes and engagements. Ancient Apparition looking to build out that, the Hand of Midas should be his next item, which we do see here. He's building into that Hand of Midas to try and get some faster levels, as well as some quick gold for his next couple of items. So probably going to see that Yule Scepter come out, maybe that Rod of Ados to slow the enemy heroes down a little bit. So your Beer Breaker hiding in the jungle. He was able to pick up that dust so that he can really try to get a couple of jumps here, but the cancel out by of that Nether Strike doesn't matter because they're gonna bring in the Ember Spirit and he's gonna bring down the other side there. So we do have the Necrophos hanging. He's stuck inside here. He's gonna get a chance to get the Ghost Shroud off. He's not gonna get the Ghost Shroud off or the Reaper's Sight, but the charge in by the Spirit Breaker. He has his Nether Strike available. Is he gonna get a chance to use it? He is. He's going to get it off onto the Nyx Assassin, and he's going to bring him down. The Cog's actually going to push him away. He is charged in 2 seconds, but the silence is going to bring him down. He's not going to be able to charge his way out of there. How did you? How did you? Yeah, he did. That's how he did. He did. So, and actually a decent fight coming out from the side of Disband. They're actually a huge gold swing and net worth swing lead for them. So, or bring back down. So we see it from that 4K mark dropping towards just below that 3K, and then on the gold side coming back towards that about 6K gold swing. That's the second time that's happened in a stream where we've clicked out of the game. Not the best thing in the world. We're gonna see a charge. They're gonna get the Poison Nova off, but look at this Ancient Apparition Blast coming in and landing onto 2. They really can't get away. This Ancient Apparition is an absolute sniper from the other side of the map. Where is he standing? No one even knows where he is. Where is this Ancient Apparition? On the other side of the map, all the way down here, and nails that perfect shot in the mid lane. Again, a beautiful hold and a beautiful ravage by the side of Beast, locking these guys down, and there's a Spearbreaker causing a ton of problems for them. He's gonna look to make a bit of a jump onto this Nyx Assassin. Maybe an engagement by the Shadow Shaman. They do have the Silencer in the area. They could just get the silence off, so they're actually gonna start with the Shackles. They do have that Hex right away after, and we're getting a pause, a pretty fortuitous pause. As well, giving this Spearbreaker maybe some time to make a decision as to where he wants to go. Clockwork has that battery assault turned on, so that patience from Smasher. He's got that battery assault as well as just that silence could come out. All you really need is that last word. That way, if he pops any of his abilities, he's gonna get silenced right away. So he has that Nether Strike available as well as that charge, and we do also have the Tidehunter and the Ember Spirit in the area. So this fight right here, guys, keep an eye on this area right here. There's going to be a big fight breaking out in a couple of seconds. We're going to zoom out just a little bit so that we are able to catch it all. Looks like it's going to happen here. So this Ember Spirit actually building into his Lincoln Sphere, which is going to be a pretty big, especially for these silences and these holds. So we're going to see if the Spearbreaker gets his chance to get his charge out. He's looking to make the charge. He's looking to actually turn around to see if he couldn't get the another strike off to get a chance to get his charge. But that battery assault being turned on, a big hit, and unable to make a move because he kept getting mini stunned up there. So that stun lock causing a couple problems for him. This Necrophos, again, does have that pipe available. He's going to get slowed down by the last word, but the beautiful hook shot landing onto him, and they're just going to chunk down this Necrophos. Not able to get the Ghost Shroud off, so no real shot at surviving that. Not even, he did pop the, he was able to pop the Pipe of Insight, but not going to do a crazy amount for him. And with that, Disband's going to run right down that mid lane and look to make a turn onto this mid tower. They're going to get the Ice Blast, maybe onto one, actually going to whiff the Ice Blast completely. We won't hold that against Ancient Apparition. He's been pretty on point with these Ice Blasts all game, so we won't hold it against him just yet. If he misses another one, though, we'll start to question his abilities. Not really. So we're going to see these Ember Spirit, again, making the push onto that bottom lane, working on that Lincoln Sphere, and his next item going to be that Maelstrom so he can get some faster push out on the lanes. When he picks up that Lincoln Sphere, he's going to be a lot harder to kill. They're going to have to use one of their abilities to break that Lincoln Sphere first before they get any of those lockdown spells on. So that means that maybe one of Shadow Shaman's hexes or his shackles might be just kind of blown completely, especially with that first reveal of the Lincoln Sphere. So we'll see how that actually changes the fight completely. And that pipe of insight again, these mass serpent wards aren't magical damage, but this poison nova is magical. So that pipe of insight really gonna help keep them alive during those team fights. We're waiting for that Ravage to come online. Ravage is back. He doesn't have that blink dagger, but he does have the completed mechanism. They're gonna force staff himself out of the shot of the AA blast, but again, we're not sure if this is a good cogs at all. He trapped his buddy, the silencer, in there, and then the rotation by the Necrophos is gonna bring him down using that Reaper Scythe and the beautiful Nether Strike to hit onto that Shadow Shaman on the other side by the Spirit Breaker, and Nyx Assassin gonna get a good impale there, but again, these fights not going the way that Disband wanted. That Pipe of Insight doing a beautiful job of keeping them all alive during that Poison Nova damage tick. And Spiritbreaker just, TP's himself back to base, and now he's going to charge back in. The heroes from Beast going to hang around. Still a remnant available for that Ember Spirit, so they're going to pop the Veil of Discord down. A beautiful 3-man impale to actually stop the engagement, but not going to be worth too much. They're still going to be able to get this. No, they're not going to get the Venomancer. They're not going to get the Venomancer. He's going to get himself away. And the charge in, but this Nyx Assassin won't be so lucky. This Venomancer's got to be careful as to where he's kind of hanging out because he doesn't have too much health. A beautiful, he's gonna remnant himself away. The cogs were beautiful. The hook shot landed well. He doesn't have the cogs for another 7 seconds, so we're gonna see if they are able to bring down this they are gonna bring down the Necrophos. We weren't sure if they were gonna actually get a chance to get him down. And again, this is he gonna tick down. He might tick down to the Urn of Shadow charges. Oh, with 30 HP left on this Venomancer. This Venomancer has been surviving on this by the skin of his teeth for the last few fights, but he's gonna walk right into the Ice Blast and he's gonna take him out. What a beautiful shot! You told him he shouldn't hang around for too long. He got a little ballsy. He got a chance to be a part of a couple of kills though. So. Definitely, maybe he thought he was worth it on his side, but again, all of that team fight really going the way of Beast. Nothing too much going the way of Disband. A little strange that we're seeing the Tidehunter building into that Pipe of Insight, considering his buddy the Necrophos already has one. Not sure if they're communicating that too well. But as we said before, a Rod of Ados in this game is going to be pretty crucial to try and lock down some of these quick mobility heroes, including that Ember Spirit. So looks like we're going to see a 4-staff coming out as the next item for your Necrophos. We do see that there's the Perseverance in his inventory right now, so maybe you're gonna see Refresher Orb as one of his items little later on. But for now, building into that 4-staff. Looks like the next item here is the Yasha, and actually scaling up the Radiance first. Actually, they did lock them down. They do kind of hang out in the very small area, so. I think the Radiant's gonna do some very big work for them. Looks like the AA Blast gonna land. It's not gonna land onto that silencer, so gonna dissuade them from making another jump. That Ravage is available again. If they should they need it, they are able to pick up the AA from on the back line using that cogs as well as that battery assault. And well, now they know the Necrophos is bottom thanks to the flares. And they're gonna rotate the whole team. You can see kind of the whole team start to rotate kind of towards that bottom lane, where that Necrophos is. As on the side of Beast though, they're just hanging out on their side of the jungle, farming up these ancients being taken out by the Tidehunter, and just to try and get his items up. So, and again, Ember Spirit just itemizing up here, looking for that Radiance, but that Clockwork is hanging around. His kind of arrows pointed directly towards that Ember Spirit. Maybe not going to get a chance to get a jump on him. So hanging around that area, there was a bit of intel by that Nyx Assassin, and he's not going to get the jump. They do see that Spirit Breaker, so Maybe gonna look to make a jump on him. He does have that mana burn, as well as that spiked carapace should they need it. Oh, but he spots out the ancient apparition instead. Try to make a rotation onto him. That clockwork is in the area, but they're actually gonna back off. Turn for that where that spirit breaker was, but gonna find out really quickly that he's actually gone himself. So looked a bit promising, but doesn't actually get a chance to catch anybody out. Again, this Ember Spirit as well as that Necrophos staying up top this net worth lead. This is the same thing we saw with the Sniper and the Visage in that last game. Nice Ice Blast might land onto him and actually just catches him with the Frostbite. Not quite the actual Ice Blast damage. So you'll be able to shrug that off pretty quickly. This Ancient Apparition looking to build into that Agnum Scepter pretty soon. Yep, you see it skilled up in his quick buy. Hopefully get some longer hits there. So they know that the Spear Breaker's here because they were able to scan him out. He does have that Shadow Blade, so that's the first Shadow Blade reveal. He's going to get that charge off, and there's a rotation with the Boots of Travel by the Ember Spirit. We're going to see if we can get a chance to see this Ravage come out. It looks like he's going to pop it right away, so he's going to catch it onto 3, onto 4 even. But with that Remnant jump by the Ember Spirit, they're actually going to be able to take out both the Nyx Assassin as well as the Silencer. The Serpent Wards are going to fall, but they're not going to bring anybody down. That Ice Blast is going to catch onto 2 and bring down the Venomancer and the Shadow Shaman. Again, that pipe of insight holding the enemy team on in this plane of existence, and gonna pop it again to make sure that he doesn't burn down to that poison sting. What a well-timed pipe by both the Tidehunter and the Necrophos. So, my bad for calling that out. I thought, the second pipe maybe not as useful as we would have thought, but turns out it is. It is as useful as they had intended it to be. Um, so a little wrong on the analysis there. It wasn't going to be a Refresher Orb, but we're actually going to see the Lotus Orb come out for the Necrophos, which makes a lot more sense in terms of these hexes, these silences, and the stuns as well as the poison damage. So some good rotations as well as some really good team fighting coming out from the side of Beast. And again, seeing that net worth as a skyrocket towards that 10k mark and that gold swing as well. Keeping an eye again on this net worth lead, we are starting to see maybe a bit of bounce back from the the Venomancer and the Silencer, but this Necrophos as well as this Ember Spear, just as they pick up more and more items, gonna cause a ton of problems. The Ember Spirit looks like he's actually just gonna look to buy that um, item straight out in terms of the Radiance. The Ancient Apparition making his way in and around the areas here. He's going to get the flare off. Is he going to make it out of this? This charge by the Spirit Breaker might actually be able to help him out quite a bit. The hold by the Shadow Shaman as well as the Poisoned Over going to be committed for this. He does have that He does have that Nether Strike. And again, they're going to get that pipe as well as the Lotus Orb off. This Ancient Apparition is still alive in that backline. And the Silencer just kind of chunking into this Tidehunter. He's a tanky kill, so we're going to see if he gets a chance to get the kill off. Don't reveal yourself. He's going to get away on just the same amount of health. They're going to smoke up and try to make their rotation out. The Necrophos and the Spearbreaker giving their lives for the two, well, actually just the support and the offlaner of Beast. So a real commitment. They were able to get the kill as well. My piece is getting cold. And now they're just going to look to turn back around. They're going to commit the Ravage for this to see if anybody else is in the area. They're not, but the Ember Spirit doesn't really need it. That one stun, that one jump, and that one kill. So he asked Mikkel, promptly delivered, correct exactly as we were saying. And that's all she wrote. He asked and you shall receive, my friend. Ask and you shall receive. Let's see what the next item for this Nyx Assassin is going to be. It looks like it's going to be that Aether's Lens. Actually changing up and going for that item scepter. And we're going to see once that comes out, we're seeing that burrow so he can defend the high ground a little easier, planning a little for that late game instead of the current game. So that Radiance finally being picked up by the Ember Spirit on the side of Beast, and Mikkel just causing a ton of problems for them. He's gonna TP himself to that bottom lane, See if he can maybe get that pick off on that Nyx Assassin. Doesn't look like he's gonna get it, but with that I can't remember the name of it. With that Flame Guard as well as that Radiance Burn, he's going to be able to bring down here these waves really quickly. They do see that Roshan and they know that the flares are in there, so maybe not looking to make a jump in there too quickly. They do have that Shadow Blade not on a cooldown. They're gonna get the cogs onto this. Yeah, they're gonna get the cogs onto the Necrophos, but there's no real engagement happening. They're actually Spearbreaker was able to get the pick off onto the Shadow Shaman in the backline. And then the rotation by this Nyx Assassin, I don't know what he was thinking in his little mind that he thought he could walk right into the clutches of 4 heroes. And with that being, those two pickoffs being kind of secured, they're going to turn right into the Roshan fight and walk themselves into there. So, I'm going to see a Roshan going the way of Beast, just adding to their net worth and gold lead. Again, climbing towards that 10k mark and just finally hitting that 10k mark for the side of Beast. And what's Disband to do at this point? They really need this silencer to start hitting quite a lot harder. So he's gonna pick up that BKB so that he can kind of undisruptedly just dish out damage as needed. This Necrophos, or sorry, this Venomancer picking up the Boots of Travel to see if maybe he can't get the some pushes going. He really needs to. First things first is take out this tier 1 on the bottom lane. Still standing strong, even though the aggression really came out in that lane. The only tier 1 left for them. Uh, on the side of Beast though, they still have to take out that tier 2 on the top lane so that they can push for megas. But their main focus right now is keeping these lanes kind of pushed in past this line right here so that they can put some ton of pressure on that top lane and a really good shackle or a really good I can't think of the word, a really good steering chains by the Ember Spirit, and now they're actually all going to jump in. That Ravage was committed, so they can kind of just jump in as needed. That Poison Nova going to be on top of them all. They are going to pop out, of course, that Ghost Shroud as well as that Pipe of Insight, but it's actually not doing as well as it did in our last fight. So their side of Disbay is actually going to bring down most of these heroes. It's not the fight that Beast was hoping for. It's definitely not the fight that they took last time. They're going to bring down the Nation Apparition as well, and the Spirit Breaker's not even going to get the chance to get that last hit onto the Silencer. But here comes the big guy in Mikhail. Mikhail gonna see what he can do with a couple of fights. He does have Searing Chains available again. So if he can get back around, he's going to look for the Searing Chains and turn around. He also has that Sleight of Fist. He does, but the burn... Oh, he's going to try to bottle himself out of this. He's able to bottle himself away. So the big boss in the Ember Spirit, turning himself around, coming back on that back line and taking out 3 on the side of Disband. So even Disband takes the perfect team fight as they have right there. They're not able to get the kill because of this Ember Spirit, who's causing them an absolute ton of trouble. And that Lincoln Sphere, as well as that Radiance Burn, just unable to get the pickoffs. And those bottle charges doing an incredible job of keeping him alive through those plague wards.
Thanks be to you.
So they're gonna resume the game, even though the Tidehunter's been disconnected. There's actually Ember Spirit who unpaused the game. Huh. So Tidehunter's back in the game. I guess they as they were talking, looks like we're gonna get another pause here. Tense seems to happen quite a bit right now, with maybe some of the internet connections not being the best that they could be. Tidehunter reconnecting again, and we'll see if it's for good this time. He was able to pick up the Guardian Greaves on that Tidehunter. And again, surprised we haven't seen the Rod of Ados come out on the side of Beast to see if they can't hold anybody down for that Ice Blast to hit. You know, they do have quite a bit of lockdown, but some of those bigger abilities have some longer cooldowns. So was thinking we're definitely going to see some Ados come through, but seeing mostly the 4 staffs to try and get them closer into those fights. About 34 minutes in, and still have yet to see the smoke play by the by the side of Disband, maybe see if they couldn't get a few pickoffs here. The Venomancer is dead for right now, and he does have that poison over when he does come back, but for right now, everybody's staying on their respective side of the river to fire him up. That being, as I said, that there's gonna catch out this clockwork. The Spearbreaker is charging onto him as well. They do have a silencer as well as the Shadow Shaman in the area, but this burst by the Ember Spirit is too much. The Rapid's gonna come out onto two. Reaper Scythe taking out that clockwork, that silencer, chunking down the Spearbreaker as much as he can, but again just getting dished and damage dealt into as he hits into him. And the Searing Chain's gonna catch out this Nyx Assassin as well. No buybacks on the side of Disband, and it's just this Venomancer who TP'd to the bottom shrine, so he wasn't even part of the fight. It's the only reason he survived. And they're gonna look to make a push onto the high ground. They're just waiting for that creep wave to come in. The soonest hero's gonna be back is that 17 seconds for the Shadow Shaman, and it's just Shadow Shaman. What can he do? He does have the Serpent Ward, so he can put down the Mass Serpent Wards as a bit of a defensive play. But we're gonna have to wait and see what they decide to do. And that Radiance Burn just taking out the creeps to make sure that the side of Beast, their creeps are able to get a free reign onto all the towers, and they're actually just bringing down these racks really quickly, focusing first on that melee racks, and then gonna rotate over to that rage racks. They're gonna go right to bottom after this because they still have that tier 2 that hasn't been taken out in that top lane. So still have to take out that tier 2 before they're able to get anything in terms of mega creeps. Hitting into this, there is that Venomancer ult available if he decides to pop that poison over, but the huge burst damage by the Ember Spirit, and still hasn't lost that Aegis. He's actually just lost the Aegis right now, and it's going to come in the form of a full regeneration for him. Oh, beautiful hook shot. Actually, Cog catching out two of them, but he's going to die inside those cogs. He's not actually. He's going to make his way out of there. The Frostbite is going to catch on to him as it trickles by him, so he's still going to go down. But the silencer not going to be able to withstand the onslaught that Beast is dishing out onto them. So again, a huge hit on the side of Disband. They're going to lose all 5. Beast not losing a single person. And again, very reminiscent of game 2, or game 1, sorry, where they just brought them down. Some good sportsmanship, seeing the GG and the good lucks for next week coming out. But again, just not something that Disband is able to deal with. So a 48-20 win for the side of Beast on the Radiant, 37 minutes into the game, and what a big fight it was. This Mikhail Ember Spirit really taking out, coming online big and towards the end of the game there, and they couldn't deal with him. Silencer doing what he could, as well as some pretty nice hook shots and cogs by this clockwork, but to no avail towards the end there. Just really couldn't deal with him. And as you can see here, like a pretty big net worth lead for that Ember Spirit. The closest one that was that silencer to that Necrophos, and it wasn't even that close. Still around 2k lead for him. So really good game to see. Glad I got a chance to see it all the way through. Sorry I had to step out for a bit of the draft, but still a great game to watch. So once again, guys, if you liked what you saw and heard here, drop me a follow or some comments if you have anything you think I need to work on in the new setup. If you guys want to see some new videos, check out the link to our YouTube channel below. The Foreigners, we kind of just talk about some random things, play some Dota, and just kind of have some fun on that channel. So subscribe there or leave us a comment on a couple of videos there if you want to. But other than that, saw some pretty good games today. I appreciate you guys sticking around. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys next time.